Good evening, all, and welcome to tonight's end of day live trading session. Okay, so it's 7 p.m. Wednesday evening, and we're going to go through our normal, Ichimoku system for our end of day trading. And remember, the big reason here that I'm running with the Ichimoku is purely because, like I've been explaining a lot of the times, I personally feel like the Ichimoku is probably one of the most difficult indicators to try and learn and master. Okay. And the fact is once you can learn and master this, the fact is you'd be able to master almost any other indicator out there. Difficult then. Now, let's have a look at what has been happening, okay, and see what needs to be done and so forth. Now, at this point in time, okay, when we're looking at the account itself, there isn't much change compared to last week. More or less, we're kind of closer to some stops on some of the trades. Others are doing a bit better. Okay, so it's kind of a mix and match here and there. Okay, now what we're looking at now is we're looking at the Euro US dollar daily chart. Now earlier today, was obviously trading intraday. We kind of looked at more or less of a bearish type of market for the day. If we're looking at the 15-minute chart, we can see we had a nice drop earlier the day. Okay, we had the stagnation and then the big drop happening, all coming from a nice, good bearish, flow. And then we sort of had it stagnating sideways. We still got and stayed in within this section, but then unfortunately we kind of just got stopped out by those little spikes there earlier today. Okay, kind of still faffing around, not knowing really what it wants to do. And when we're looking at any of the other time frames, okay, like the 1 hour, 4 hour, and so forth, they're all sitting in a bearish section. But when you look at it based on the stochastic, you can see that most of these time frames actually want to start making a swing upwards, even so with the daily. So we could be seeing a couple of things happening here. Okay, scenarios are as follow. On the Euro US, we could get, and here's the thing, this is moving into the cloud. So first things first, what's most likely the case? Most likely going to happen? Well, firstly, if it does get into the cloud, we're probably going to see, and obviously with tomorrow opening, we're going to see it actually inside the cloud, if it stays the way it is. And the big thing is that we're most likely going to see some consolidation, some sideways movement. Continue faffing around in the cloud. At this point in time, most likely, it looks like it's definitely probably going to stop us out, okay, on one of our trades. Depends on what it's going to do with the next stop loss, but we can't ratchet any stops at this point. Okay, the Kujin hasn't moved far enough. We've had a big pullback at this point. We need 3 flat sections, completed ones. We've only got 1, 2. There's a big flat section there, but it's not completed yet, so I can't move it to that point. And even if I do move it to that point, I'm kind of playing it very, very fine in terms of, flirting with the stop losses. So there's nothing we can do stop loss wise. Okay, so this could either continue going down and break the cloud to the bottom, changing trend, or this can kind of go sideways, faff inside the cloud, and then it starts taking direction from there. Again, from there, we do not know until we get more data. So this is one of those things where we're going to need to wait and see. If it goes up from here, we're going to have a couple of extra entry opportunities that could be produced. Okay, Tenkan Kujin Sen cross, price breaking Kujin. We can even get the Chiku span break. So there's 3 good opportunities that could come into play if this starts going bullish again. But this is all just speculation at this point in time. We don't know until we actually see what price is doing. So for that matter of fact, US is something we'll wait on at this. No new entries, nothing else that we're going to basically be getting into. Some of you most likely actually got the trade in, okay, last week for the buy of the Kujin break. That's again dependent, on what you saw, but I didn't get in that one purely for the fact of where that Chiku was situated was inside price. Okay, and therefore that signal was not taken at all. Okay, so let's have a look at the next chart and see if there's anything a little bit better, up for grabs. Okay, now pound US. Now this one has been kind of playing around a little bit. Now remember what we saw here? Okay, if I zoom out now, we had a formation come and play. Check that. What formation is that? Come on. A head and shoulders. Okay, got the head over here, got the shoulder running over there and over there. Okay, neckline, broke the neckline, and I just waited for the Chica to clear price as well. That's why I waited so long to get in there, because the Chica was still in price. It was basically inside the pullback from the head. Okay, once it cleared that, that's when I entered it. Okay, some of you might have gotten in earlier purely for the break of the head and shoulders. So if we're looking at distance-wise at which this could travel, okay. Whoops. And zoom in slightly. There we go. We know what this is at this point. Okay, so from there straight up, okay, that distance is the same we aim for to the top. So here we've got about 7,000. So with this, okay, we've got the break here. We're looking at roughly, I think that should do it. Let's check. From there, just under. Funny. I think that's it. That should do it. Okay. So we're looking at more or less this area to be reached, okay, price level wise. So we're going to get close to the 150, I think. That's spot on. Check there. The 150 level. Okay. Funny how these things love round numbers. Okay. So expecting that it could pop up until this level, could go even further. Okay. But that is our basic type of head and shoulder pattern. Okay. To give us an entry and give us a target. But we're in the Ichimoku trade, obviously. So we've had our trade, we've got a stop loss. Let's have a look if there's anything else that has been signaled or that we can do. Nothing really much otherwise than just the confirmation that we had for no. Let's see if you can get this. What type of signal were we looking at? Right over there, happened yesterday. It's the Kujin break, price breaking Kujin. Okay, now we're obviously going to enter this trade, so let's just quickly get the screen sharing up properly so you guys can see exactly how I'm going to go about entering that trade. Okay, let's quickly just setting the screen share up so that you guys can see the windows that pop open, when I take the trades, the new order window, those type of things. Okay, remember guys, if there's any other questions that pop up, by all means, just use the chat feature at the top right, and we'll take it from there. Okay, Cello, good to see you again, my friend. Long time no see. Okay, like I said as well, we are looking at migrating to a new webinar service. So any of the issues that should have popped up within the webinars themselves should not be an issue anymore. But okay, let's get ready with this one. Now this candle has moved quite a lot already, but this is an entry. It's a Kujin break, right? Now I've set the screen sharing. Let's just see if this is full screen. Nah, come on. Come on, there we go. Okay, sorry about okay. So we're obviously going to go, we're going to measure our distance. So we click, we drag. That's 2880. Okay, so I'm going to go. What? Dropped by probably 10% on our account so far with some of the pullbacks and that kind of thing. We're still in a floating profit. Realized profits yet. Okay. And like I said, guys, this is normal for the markets, especially when we start getting trend changes, those type of things. You know, all part of it. Trick is to sit through these. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so it is divided by 2880. That gives me my distance. So all I do is I right click, trading, new order. I change that. That's 0.12. There we go. Obviously this needs to be a buy. Yes. I don't know why I instinctively almost went for the sell. That would have been funny. Okay, anyway, let's get a stop into place. So I click and I drag and I drop. There we go. I just modify the entry. Stop loss, you see, automatically set in place. So I just click on modify. Okay, entries taken upon confirmation of that. Chico is nice and clear of price. Okay, so we had a beautiful, beautiful Kujin break happen. That one I'm trading. Okay, so now we've got a couple of stops set. Let's see, can we ratchet the original stop for the original entry? What do you guys say? Just gonna stop the screen sharing again and then get it back up on the platform. There we go. Okay, so good, beautiful entry, right? Now what we need to do is we need to look at ratcheting stops. Now, remember, with the ratcheting of our stops, that is moving our stop losses, okay, towards the profitable area, okay? And remember with Ichimoku, we always keep it at 3 flat sections back. For those of you who are specifically new with using the Ichimoku, best advice I can give any of you at this point in time is make sure that you run through the Ichimoku course on our Success Coaching website. Okay, it goes into detail about all the different little signals that gets generated and that kind of thing. It is going to take some time to master it. Okay, especially purely for the fact that the names on their own are so insane. Okay, I mean Ichimoku Kinko Hayo on its own it confuses a lot of people. Okay, it means basically at one glance, different lines we get is we get the Senku span B, Senku span A over here. Then we've got the Kujin Sen, which is the blue line here, Tenkan Sen, red line over here, and then we've got our Chiku span. It's only based off of 5 lines. Okay. But make sure you learn those to the T. It's going to make it a lot simpler to follow along with what we do. And also, try and run with me on a demo account. Okay, I just want to see if you guys can kind of run this on your own. And this is the beautiful thing. On a demo account, guys, go mad. Okay, it's all about learning at this point in time. You'll know when you're ready. You'll feel comfortable with it. You'll start seeing the signals and so forth. Okay, and especially for you, those of you who've been going through this for a little while now with me, like Cello basically. Okay, I think it's going to be good for you to see exactly how this runs as well. Purely for the fact that you should be in a drawdown as well now at this point in time. Okay. Purely for the fact that we're starting to find some trend changes on some of the instruments. So obviously some of the profits we had in some of the positions are now being pulled down. Okay, like I said, we're still in a floating profit, but it's not realized yet. We need to give it time, and that's the way in which this indicator runs. Okay, right now, Silo, can you see anything now? Or are you still not seeing anything? No? Should be able to see the mouse at least move. Gents, any of the others of you, you seeing anything? Can you at least see the charts? See the mouse moving up and down now? Okay, yeah, try that, Silo. Try logging in again. It could be connection or something like that. Guys, just let me know, the rest of you that's on, whether you can actually see the charts, so I know that you can follow along. You know. Okay, thanks, Matimba. That's great. Okay, that's good then. Okay, so let's check. Where do we need to ratchet the stops to? Okay, our stop loss. We've got. Let's see here. Okay, we're on the Euro USD again. Let's get back to where we were. Now we've got a stop loss placed. Okay, for the original entry that we did. We won't be able to trade that one though. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to mute you here. Okay, so I see you rejoin and is off again. Okay, that probably didn't work. Right. Okay, so 3 flat sections back. So let's count. I'm going to zoom in a little bit further so we see a bit more clearly. Okay, that's a flat section, but it's not completed. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's the 3rd flat section. Now my stop entry that I've just placed for taking this current trade, okay, that's set in place. I won't be able to move that because if I move this to that level, I'm going to be moving it back. I never want to move my stop loss backwards. I always want to move it towards the profitable area so that at least I minimize my losses, okay, and I start moving into profits. If you're only going to push it further back, you're only going to create more losses when it does turn against you, okay. I'd rather be taken out with smaller losses than increasing my stops and being taken out with a lot more than I want to be taken out with. Okay, so we're going to take our original stop loss placement and we're going to shift this toward the flat section over there. Okay, once, let's just get that modified. Okay, perfect. Once we get that flat section finished forming, then we'll have 1, 2, 3, and then I'll move both stop losses to that level. Okay, so that's what we've got at this point for the pound US dollar. Okay, right. Let's have a look now at the next chart, US franc. Okay, now here I've still got some nice entry signals marked out for you guys from the last time I handled that. Okay, basically, we had a couple of trades that we entered on the US franc, and this one kind of turned against us and it said, how's it, bud? Bye-bye. It slapped us from side to side. One of those things, it happens. We can't predict what's going to happen. That's the thing. But we trade odds. We trade chances of certain things. Okay, that's why once you start getting exposed to the flow of this, once you start understanding that your account drops every now and then it picks up, and then it drops again, and then it picks up. You start getting accustomed and how to say, more adapt to the normal market movements. Okay. And this makes it a lot easier for you emotionally as well, because especially when you start out, the biggest killer is emotions. Okay, and what happens is you tend to get very over eager and you take the trades and then they turn against you and you're thinking, oh my word, I did the wrong thing and that kind of thing. No. Okay. You guys need to get used to the flow of everything first, because especially in the beginning, because you're not used to the flow, you're always kind of working towards it in a counterintuitive way. You're trying to correct every single mistake. And that's the thing. What happens isn't necessarily a mistake. If you had a trade go against you, doesn't mean you were wrong necessarily. That's if you followed your rules. Okay? The problem comes when you start breaking those rules. And that's what starts happening, especially when you start panicking and those type of things. Okay? That's why best practice ground for starting out is running with a demo account first, to build your confidence, to make sure that you're understanding the flows and those type of things, and we just take it from there. Okay. Like I said, guys, remember, any other questions? Okay, perfect, Silo. Glad. Okay, that got fixed. Any questions that do pop up, by all means ask. Okay. Right, so on the US franc, we haven't really got anything. Okay, we've got price in the cloud. So I want to find out. We're probably going to get a Kumo break happening very shortly. Okay. Apart from the Kumo break that's going to happen over here, what's the next closest buy signal that we might get? The one that's most likely going to follow on that Kumo break. Let's see who gets that. Who knows? Just look carefully. The answer is there. Okay, seeing as I'm not getting any replies, take it you guys are unsure. So, answer to my question is obviously the most likely the next signal that's going to pop up right after we get the Kumo break happening, okay, is going to be our future Kumo cross. Okay, so we're firstly going to have a Kumo break happen. That's price breaking from inside the cloud. Okay, the section here, the cloud is the red section here. The red section obviously means it's bearish. Okay, overall. In other words, it's kind of in a downwards moving cycle. And we can see that overall it's had a downwards moving cycle with price itself. Okay, but now this last little bit, it's been kind of bouncing off the levels over here. And we can actually probably get a level in. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful level there. Right. It's been bouncing off the levels here, and now it started making a higher high as well. Okay, so we're most likely getting a change in direction, a change in trend. Therefore, the upwards break that we're probably going to see here. Now, I would be inclined to take that one. Okay, once we get the Kumo break. Why do you think I'd take that trade specifically? Okay, remember I said the next signal. If you're unsure and you're worried about taking that entry that's going to come up either tomorrow or on Friday, next best signal to wait for is future Kumo cross. But why would I be fine with taking the Kumo break itself? Remember, like I said, the Kumo breaks are always the most difficult entries to take, purely for the fact that according to the rules of the Ichimoku, okay, we need to have everything else run in sync with the signals. The stronger the signals, the better the chances of the entry actually going our way. So we normally need quite a couple of things in our favor. Now, when this breaks, we're going to have price above the cloud, which is good. But the problem is the cloud itself is bearish. Future Kumo is bearish. So none of that is in a bullish direction. Okay. Tenkan and Kujin Sen is below the cloud, while Tenkan's inside and Kujin's below. They're both pointing upwards and they're in the right order, but they're situated on the wrong side of the cloud. So in other words, that's kind of a weakish signal. Okay, so all in all, this Kumo break is going to be a very weak break, but I'm confident in taking it purely for the fact that I've got the Chiku span. Okay, so far at this point, clear from price. So the chances of this moving up, with a bit more momentum is quite good. If you're still a little bit weary about it, rather wait for the future Kumo cross to come in. Okay, rather get a little bit more things in your favor, because as long as you get the future Kumo cross, then you're going to have price above the cloud. Okay, you're probably going to have the Tenkan above the cloud as well, and you should have your future Kumo, which is bullish. So you're going to have quite a couple of more things going into your favor then. Okay. Other than that, we're not really going to have anything that we can do now. Okay, so at this point in time, on the US franc, we're going to wait. Nothing really that we can do now. Okay. Remember, we're probably going to get an entry either, well, not tomorrow, but probably Friday or Monday. Okay. Keep an eye on this. And next week, we're going to see what's happened. Okay. US yen, next one. Now, this has been, how would I say, an awesome chart, funny enough, to trade. We are in 4 trades in total on this one already. There's 1 trade entry, 2 trade entries, 3 trade entries, our 4th trade entry. So 3 trade entries are in profits. 1 is in a loss so far. Okay. And really no other signals that have been generated. There's been signals that have been generated right over there. Kujin breaks. You can see that. Okay. Price breaking from above the Kujin to below. Okay. There's one. There's another one. Okay. Problem is, Chiku was too close to price. That's why I never took that. Okay. Other thing is Chiku, because it's heading into price, we're probably going to get a bit of sideways movement. We just need to wait and see what this is going to do. That's it. Okay. There's nothing else that we can really do. Now, let's see, is there anything else that we can look at doing? Okay. Well, we could probably look at ratcheting our stops on this. So let's see where we can ratchet it to. It's a flat section, but it's not completed, so I don't count that. There's a small flat section, so it's 1, 2, 3. Oof. Not a lot though, but it's something. So I'm going to move it to there. That's 1 moved. Second stop is in place. Okay, third stop is in place. And last stop. Hey, no, don't do that. Wrong one it took. There we go. Come now. Maybe I need to zoom in slightly. There we go. That's it. Perfect. Okay. All 4 stop losses moved. Bump to the level over there. Okay, so we've kind of increased profits and minimized the 1 trade's losses on that one. Nothing else we can take. We're hoping for a downwards move on this. Okay. Let's kind of cross fingers, hold thumbs, do the whole rain dance and kind of have this one, kind of pushed down. I mean, we want to make money, so. Okay, nothing else on that one. Okay, next one. US Canadian dollar, okay, or US CAD for short. Now, on this one, okay, what we've got is we had a signal. Okay, we had a couple of signals, but obviously that we didn't take. And we said we could probably wait for Tenkan Kujin Sen cross, which happened. Didn't take it. Chiku was in the way of price, you see. Okay, so it would have been really, really silly to kind of just jump in on that one. So we're going to wait on this one as well. This is another beautiful trade that has been running, okay, for quite a little while. And it does look like we would be able to ratchet one of our stops. Well, we've only got 1 entry in this so far. And like I said, this is probably the only portion that's going to most likely give us a chance of getting in whatsoever on any other entry on this chart. Beautiful, beautiful Kumo break that we took on this. Okay. Now, 1 flat section, 2 flat section, 3 flat sections. That for me is still a little bit too close as to where price is. So I'm just going to leave the stop loss, okay, on where it is at this point in time. Okay, the stop loss is basically almost already at a 2% profit level. So instead of going for a standard 2%, we're trying to push for as much profits as possible, on our end of day trades. So far, the US CAD has delivered. Hopefully that we can push a lot more. I'd be smiling a lot more if I can get this towards the 6 to 10% profit on that trade. And hopefully we can get a couple of extra entries, lined up, as this continues going. But at this point, I'm not really going to touch it. I'm going to wait and see. Okay. Next one, Euro Yen. Euro Yen. What have we got with you? Now, the Euro Yen, we've been in for a little while as well. Okay. Had a big entry that we took, obviously, with that drop there. That got the Chico clear from price. Beautiful, bottom there. We had another signal that was generated over here, but didn't take it purely for the fact that, again, Chico's inside price now. Okay. Still looking good for the downwards move. But yeah, we need to give this time. This needs a bit of time to make up its mind as to what it really wants to do. Okay, let's check. We're probably going to be able to move stops. Where can we move it to? That's a flat section there. Little bump up and another flat section. I'll count that as one. Okay, so let's count 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to move this boom, to over there. Done. Okay. Nothing else really. So, next one. Euro franc. Now it seems as if the franc pairs have been slightly naughty these last couple of months. They don't really want to run anywhere or take a particular direction. They love hovering at a particular point. So I'll be looking at quite a couple of more different types of instruments that we can start adding to this, and the weaker ones we'll start eliminating as well. This gives you guys a good idea of how we kind of go about increasing chances, okay, of profitable trades. So I think, yeah, from next week we'll start looking at those types of things. Okay. But otherwise, there's nothing really that has happened apart from our normal Kuma break that we had. Okay, it's been kind of faffing sideways at this point. It hasn't really wanted to jump above that level there. Can't move the stop as well. So there's nothing we can do on the Euro franc at this point in time. Okay. Euro pound. Now what's happening here? Okay. I want to hear from you guys now. What's happening here? What do we do? What should we do? What can we do? What do you guys think? Ah, nice one to sell. That's it, exactly. Okay. Now, the question is, do we take it? That's the big question. Remember, Kuba breaks are the most difficult ones to take. What would you say? Take a chance on this, or rather wait a little bit? Matimba, what do you think? Should we jump in on this one? Or should we rather kind of just give it a little bit more time? Okay, Matimba saying wait. Okay, Matimba, just clarify for me the reasons for waiting. I'm just checking your guys' knowledge, that's all. Okay. Okay. That's not a... Okay. Yeah. I agree with you what you said there, Matimba. Okay. Tenkan and Kujin, unfortunately, okay, still inside the cloud. Um, so not everything is laid up perfectly. Okay. And Seller's also got a good answer. Okay. Both of you extremely correct in what your analysis is. Okay. Let me kind of give you my point of view on this. Both of you are correct. Okay. Yes. Okay. We've got the future Kumo kind of doing its cross, okay, which is awesome to see. And then, but the problem that we've got is, as Matimba mentioned, okay, it's the fact that the Tenkan and Kujin, they're in the right order, they're pointing in the right direction, but they're still inside the cloud. So it is a weakish signal, or how to say, a more iffy type of signal, not a real strong signal or anything. But let me give you my point of view here. At this point in time, we're seeing that, and I mean, what's the chances of this moving straight up? Still this evening. I mean, we're in a dead zone kind of within the market at this point in time. We're only going to start seeing movement after the candle is actually closed, okay? Because the Asian session is going to start, and it's only the next day. Okay, so we're only really going to see some big movement happening, once we get this candle closing. Now, Kuma breaks, like I said, because they're so difficult to trade, and you're never really going to get anything 100% lined up with a Kumo breaks ever. Okay. For me, normally, I like using, because of that. If I get a chance that this might be doing something, I tend to go for it. But the biggest influencer for me is one thing and one thing only, and it's that little mister over there. Okay. It's a Chiku span. Now the Chiku span at this point in time, okay, the way this is going, this is clear from price. So I'm expecting this to have some nice momentum down. And it's purely for that reason only that I'll be jumping into this. Okay. So this is a trade that I'm actually keen on getting into. So I'm going to be doing that now. Let's quickly just get the calculator out. Okay, let's do a quick measurement. Right. Hopefully this makes it simpler for you guys to start, playing around with the idea of taking Kumo breaks. Okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So obviously we're literally looking at the flat Kujin section for our stop loss level. Okay, it's 2119. 9. Okay, so I'm gonna right click, trading, new order, and I'm just gonna enter. That should be, there we go, sell, done, entries taken, stop's gonna be set. Boom. There we go. Stop loss is in place. Okay. Now, that's it. Okay. Kumo break taken. Now this could obviously be the completely incorrect, direction that it's going to go, and it probably turns again and continues going up and that type of thing. Another good little thing as well is, let me show you. And this is why it's also, I'm confident enough in taking this one though. But that's the thing. It's up to you guys. But Seller, you've got a very, very good point as well, because look there. Look there. Okay. Boom. 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 Okay. So we are at kind of a support level, more or less. The other thing as well. Let's just zoom out. Let's zoom out quickly. I wanna check something. Okay. Yeah. Um, looks to be. Yep. Okay. Hopefully you guys are seeing more or less what I'm seeing on this. Is it jumping out? Okay, I'm going to give you guys a tip. We're seeing more or less a formation here. What are we seeing? What formation are we looking at? Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit easier for you guys. Okay, this is exactly what has happened on one of our other trades. Just the other way. Check here. Price going up, nice and strong. As a strong. Oh, come on, don't do that. There we go. Okay, as a nice strong little pullback. Let's do it till there. And then we've got another surge upwards, creating a new high. Guys should be shouting it out now. That's it, Matimba. That's it. Well done. Head and shoulders. You see, that's all it is. Okay, it's just playing around with these things. Okay, now let's get our neckline in place, right? Bump, bump, and extend. All right. So there's a couple of things happening now, actually. Okay. Now all of a sudden, just waiting for the confirmation on the, how to say, the future Kuma cross is actually a good decision as well. Okay, because it's also then going to confirm with the head and shoulder formation. Okay, we can expect price probably to get round about here then. Okay, because of that distance, same distance down, so we're expecting it roughly to reach this level more or less. We'll see. Okay. Okay, this one is moving beautifully. In this one already, it's your guys' choice. You can just wait for tomorrow for that final little bit of confirmation, or you can jump in now as well. But so far, I like the way that this is going. Okay. So yeah, I haven't got any complaints. But you see how you know it's playing around with these things, and the more you play around with it, okay, the closer these things start jumping out at you, these formations and those type of things. Okay. And yeah, I find it quite funny how Matimba kind of just, as I started drawing it, started boom, hitting the answer there as well. Same as with Solo. So guys, well done. Okay. Right. Nothing else much on this now that we can do. We've got our entry in. We've, got everything set up. For those of you who still want to wait till tomorrow just for that final confirmation, nothing wrong with that wait. Actually, a very good wait in that sense as well. And you'll most likely then be jumping in tomorrow. Okay. Right. So let's have a look at next one. Here we have got another one. Pound franc. What has happened here? Now with this one, Kumo break, right? I'm going to zoom in slightly. There we go. Kumo break, it's confirmed. Now, based on what we've done with some of the other Kumo break trades already and what I've explained so far, I want to know from you guys. Yes or no? Do we get in or do we stay out? So do we take the entry? Okay, that's enough suspense for now. Okay, well done, guys. That's exactly it. We're going to jump in. Okay, you guys are picking up beautifully on what I'm expanding and that kind of thing. So love that. Check how beautifully that future Kumo is pointing up. So we've got a good future Kumo. Okay, got price above the cloud. Tenkan and Kujin is pointing nicely. They're just not situated at the right point. Almost smack bam the same as the previous one that we had. Okay, and Chiku, I mean, that is so clear from price. Okay, so this is one that I'm definitely going to be jumping in on. Okay, let's get our measurement again. So we're going to count 7 candles. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's right over there. We're looking at 4192. Okay, so let's quickly get the calculator ready. That's 4192. Okay, so my entry is going to be taken. Right click on the chart, select new order, and then it should be, okay, on my side it's 0.08. Oof, almost again I hit the sell button. Always double check before you hit any of those buttons that you make sure you go into the right direction. Okay, it's very easy to kind of just by habit go and press a button and then you're into the completely opposite direction. There's nothing worse than human error within our trading because it costs us money. So we always need to be kind of aware of exactly how we're going about our process. Okay, as long as you're sticking with the proper process, you're going to minimize your mistakes by quite a lot. We're just going to pop the stop loss in place. There we go. Stop loss is set. That's done. Trade's taken. Okay, now we wait and we see, and hopefully, this does exactly what we wanted to do. Diswa, good to see you. I'm just going to mute your mic. Okay. Long time no see. But yeah, by all means, if there's any questions you've got and that kind of thing, just use the chat feature at the top left, if you've got any questions and so forth. Okay. Right. So yeah, with the pound franc, that one looks like a beaut of a trade to get into. So definitely into that one. Let's check the next one. New Zealand US dollar. I can't remember. Yeah, I think we did take a couple of trades on this one. We got stopped out. Yes, with that over there, with some of the stops we said we got stopped out there. What do you guys say? What are we looking at here? Obviously, there's no trades that we can take now, is there? Price is inside the cloud. Okay, we've had a Tenkan Kujin cross a little bit earlier, but again, that was such a weak signal. I mean, I hate weak signals. I don't like weak signals. Okay, I want to go for the strong ones, the ones that's going to be giving me the best chance of making money overall. Okay, so what do you think could happen? What do you think is going to be our best option of direction here? Which direction would I be favoring? As I'm looking at this now, which direction would you guys be favoring? Would you be looking more closely at sell signals or more closely at buy signals being produced? Price is inside the cloud now, so there's one of 3 things that can happen. This can either still continue slightly sideways and consolidate. Okay, look at where the Chiku is, the Chiku span. Okay, look at where the Chiku span is. Okay, now remember, try and think 3 steps ahead with this. Okay, so try and think what could happen if we get price doing this. Okay, where would the Chiku be? Okay, would we get Tenkan Kujin Sen cross probably happening? Will we be able to take the Kujin break if it goes up from here? Those type of things. And then, what about when it does that? So I'm checking all possibilities here. I don't know what's going to happen yet, but I'm looking at which is going to be the more favorable ones because that's the one I'm going to give more attention to. Okay, and as price continues moving, we'll get a clearer picture of what price actually wants to do, and then we act on it accordingly. But we're already preparing ourselves for possible entries coming up. So based on what we checked there, what do you guys say? Okay, what are we going to be favoring? The bullish move or the bearish move? What do you think? What's going to be the simplest entry between the two? Which one are we going to be able to enter quicker at? Okay, seller's got his answer in. What do the rest of you think? Okay, so we've got contrasting points of view at this point in time. All good. Timber, you want to take a chance? Okay. I was basically just asking with what can happen, price can either go up from here, go sideways, or go down. Which of the two directions would we favor more? Okay. Um, in terms of how to say which is probably going to happen quicker compared to some of the others, or going to give us the least amount of hassle. Okay. Okay, and there we go. Right. So here's the answer. It is the bearish break of the Kumo. That's going to be the quickest and most easiest signal that's probably going to come up. Okay. Because here's the thing, check here. This is what I'm going to show you guys. Okay. If price goes down like that, then the Chiku is going to do the exact same, obviously. Why? Because the Chiku is price. Check there. Now I've turned price into a line chart, and check how it mimics it. It's the exact same thing. Okay. So what does this mean? If the Chiku is sitting here, is the Chiku clear from price? If price continues going down? Yes, it is. If price continues going down, it starts moving into bearish territory, doesn't it? Okay. However, what Andesma said is true. We've got the future Kumo being bullish. But look at what's happening with the future Kumo, getting closer to one another. So we're probably going to get a future Kumo cross happening very shortly as well. So we're going to keep an eye on this. But at this point in time, I'm favoring the downwards move because that's going to be the more easy type of moneymaker. What's going to be the problem if this goes up? Let's say this goes, let's just get that there. And let's say we get that happening. Okay. Let's just mimic this with the Chiku. And where's the Chiku going to be? In price. It's not clear from it. So there's no way we're going to be able to take that upward swing, is there? Not even if it's a Tenkan Kujin Sen cross roundabout here, or if price is breaking the Kujin, is it? Because we're going to have the Chiku in price. Do you see the importance of the Chiku and how when you're looking at it like this, it's going to be easier for you to kind of spot exactly which would be the best directions to wait for or which would give you the best opportunities. Okay, we try and see more or less what's going to happen almost like 3 steps in advance. Okay, so for the bullish move, it doesn't look too promising if this goes up. We're going to have to wait a lot longer compared to if this goes down. Okay, so I'm definitely favoring the bearish side on this. Okay, right. Okay, now nothing we can do really now, so we're going to wait and see. Okay, next one is our pound yen. Now this one is one we got in. Did we? No, we did not. Purely for the fact that Chiku was just situated at a crappy spot. Okay, we've had some price movement, that kind of thing, and price is inside the cloud. It's a bearish move, but it looks like we're going to get a future Kumo cross here. We might get a Kumo break as well. Okay. Now, looking at this in almost the exact same way that we did earlier. Funny enough, you see how we did what? This was about a week ago that we drew this, the direction of what we can expect this to do, and check how it's been going. It's been almost following it, precisely. And I'm thinking we're probably going to get a good change in direction on this one. But let's zoom out slightly and have a look at the bigger picture. You guys spotting anything? You should be able to see that now. This is virtually similar to what has been shown on the previous ones. Check here. Coming down. Having a sharp upturn there. Okay, and I'm including that little upwards push. I'm including that in this full downwards move. Okay. Because yeah, it went way down and that went further down, so we can't really do the head and shoulders from there. Okay. But again, this is a head and shoulder. Check here. Boom. Boom. We've got the shoulder forming here. And it's going up, and it's at that point at this point in time. Let's check the neckline. Neckline. I love how these things kind of set up. Okay, so it looks like could be a good bullish move that's going to be coming up. Can't really do anything yet. I have to wait, obviously. But so far, I've got my eye on this. Okay. Looks to be, that it could be giving some good signals. But I love it when we get these signals happening in conjunction with one another. Okay. Okay, Tenkan and Kujin cross, that's definitely going to come up. Only problem is with that cross, it's going to be inside the cloud. Okay. We normally want it on the right side of the cloud if we want to take specifically the Tenkan and Kujin Sen cross. The only ones that I really take with any of the other signals not really in play is purely Kumo breaks. Okay, as long as the Chiku is open and clear from price. Okay, so yeah, I wouldn't really go for the Tenkan and Kujin Sen cross as a specific signal, but that is definitely a signal that is most likely coming up. We can see that, so well spotted, Matimba. Okay, and we've also got the future Kuma that could be happening as well. So we've got a couple of things that could play in our favor if this continues going up. Okay, so we'll just have to see, what this really wants to do. Nothing we can do now yet. Okay, let's check our Australian friends. Okay, the Wallabies. Australian US. Oh no, that's the Australian New Zealand dollar that we're looking at now. Okay, and then with this one we took the Kuma break. Right? In the sell, had everything set. No other signals at this point in time. Price is still moving strong. Okay, we're in a profit on this one, which is good. Is there anything we can do on this? There's the stop. So obviously, because I've pointed it out now, we're definitely going to move the stop loss. All right? 3 flat sections. That's not completed. So it's 1, it's 2, and it's 3. Till just about there. That's it. That's perfect. Just waiting for that. There we go. And taken. Okay, so at least we've minimized some of our losses that could occur on that one so far. Might be a little while before we really get any other signal, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Okay, next one. Australian dollar, US dollar. Now this one we took a Kumo break on as well last week. Okay. Price has kind of been faffing around more or less at the same point. It's been going further down, which is awesome to see. Okay, everything is starting to play more into our hand now. No other signals as of yet that I'm seeing. Okay, let me zoom in slightly so we get a bit of a better picture here. There we go. Okay, nice and clear open space still in front of the Chiku. Okay, all that's still running quite alright. So this one again, we just need to give it time. That's it. It needs time. Okay, so let's check. Can we ratchet? That doesn't count. So over there, it's 1. Small little 1, 2. Let's call that a speed bump. And then 3. So we've basically got it set to there. Okay, perfect. Right, that's all we can do for now. Second last one. Here we've got Frankian. On this one, we had a entry on the price breaking Kujin at that point there. Got close, didn't get another entry. Chico's moving towards price now. Okay. Anything we can really do on this one? Yes or no? There's no other signals that came up, so there's no trades we can take. Stop loss. Not enough flat sections, is there? So, no, nothing we can do. Just going to leave this one and move on to the next one. Okay, this needs some time as well. Last one. Pound Australian dollar. Okay, now pound Australian dollar, last week we had an entry for the Kumo break. And again, why did I take the Kumo break? Remember, nothing else was lined up perfectly. But you see the big difference that it makes when the Chiku has got open space in front of it. Look at that. Okay, it's running beautifully at this point in time. Love seeing that. Okay. Can we do anything on this? Any new signals? Any stop loss movement? Anything like that on that one? Yes or no? That's it, Cello. We won't do anything on this one. Okay. This one is still going to be left as is, and we're going to let this do its thing. We're basically almost sitting at a 1% profit level with this particular trade, which is nice to see, you know. Like I said, we want to make more money, so we need to give this time to do its thing. Okay. Other than that, that's basically, you know, it for running through on our normal end of day charts. Let's quickly have a look at the the dollar rand exchange rate. Sorry for that sigh, but I mean, when you're looking at these things, guys, you know we're going to get a petrol increase very soon, and it's only looking worse in the way in which the rand's going. Okay, the political atmosphere is obviously not helping. This is definitely where any of us that are invested in foreign currency would be smiling from ear to ear. Okay, I don't know if you guys keep yourselves up to date with a lot of the financials in terms of news and that kind of thing locally, but I think there was a report on MoneyWeb and a couple of the other sites where they expect, okay, again, it's not guaranteed. This is an I want to say a speculation that most likely we're going to see the rand hitting the 60 rand, not 1660 rand mark against the dollar. And I think what they say in about 4 years' time, okay, that is a huge move. Okay, so this is why the quicker we can get our rands turned into dollars, the better. You know, purely for the fact in which, you know, the rand is being played around at this point in time. Let's have a look at what Brent crude oil is doing. And yay, Brent crude oil it's gone past that level. You see there, it's broken that level that we set because of those sections there, and it's almost hitting $50 a barrel. So remember earlier when the rand was recovering, okay, and we saw basically the oil increasing. We figured, okay, it's not pretty, we're probably still going to see increases, but not huge, okay. And the problem was is that most of any savings that we could have had with the strengthening of the rand was negated by the fact that oil just got more expensive, and now the rand started shooting up again, and oil is even more expensive. So, guys, sad fact is we're probably going to see a couple of jumps come up within petrol price. The picture can change again in a couple of weeks, um, but it's not looking good. That's the only thing. So yeah, that's it basically for our market recap in that sense. Okay, done for the session then for this evening. I want to find out from you guys. Okay, are there any questions that any of you would like to just quickly, get out in the open and like me to tackle it before we finish off? Okay, Silo is good. Timber, anything from your side? Or are you good as well? Okay, perfect, gents. Okay, thanks so much for joining this evening, guys. Good to see you all again. I'll see you guys again then next week, same time, same place. Like I said, we're going to be start running from next week with a new webinar system. Okay, there's going to be a lot more interaction and that kind of thing that would be able to, happen within those. So looking forward to that, but I'll be sending you guys the details. Okay, I'm probably beginning next week, and like I said, yeah, we have been having a couple of issues with some of our emails, so I'm probably going to be spending some time in trying to get that solved as quickly as possible, so that we don't get any miscommunication and that kind of thing. Okay. Right, guys. Anyway, thanks for joining up. I'll check you guys again for next week, same time, same place. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys, and enjoy the weekend ahead.